Jennifer Lawrence?
Oh,
Would she
hell
play
yeah.
Kate on your team? Would she play?
I mean, I don't know. Hopefully I can hang out with her. My fiance, I don't know. Yeah, that'd probably be better, right?
Who would play you?
I just love Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, she's pretty much badass.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Who would play you?
Like, that's a hard one. I don't feel like someone can answer that themselves. Like, it has to be assigned to you, right?
Yeah.
I get told I look like that guy that played Lucifer.
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which actually I kind of like, I'm not mad about it.
So Alexander Rossi joining us here in the Freak Nation IndyCar Series. Alexander Rossi joining us here in the Freak Nation. One of the things I'm curious about when it comes to Texas, of course, it's a gnarly track. You guys are reaching speeds of about 1,500 miles an hour on that track. Hey, man, when it comes to spotters at a track that's so damn fast, do you need one about every, 10th of a mile to keep you guys honest on the track?
No. I would say that's probably aggressive, because we're only actually doing 987 miles an hour. So like you don't really need one that often, but no, the spotter relationship on ovals is super important. Not because you make decisions based on what they're telling you, but they're kind of just a subconscious reassurance, if that makes sense. Like you're clear, but when they say it, it's like, okay, like you can definitely kind of turn with confidence or whatever. And the other thing that they're super good for is kind of communicating what other cars are doing. So Texas in particular, I think this year we're going to have 2 lanes kind of active during the race. So they'll be able to explain kind of who's good up high, who's, using that area and the strengths and weaknesses that other cars have that you might not be able to see yourself.
IndyCar Series pilot Alexander Rossi joining us in Lucas Oil Studios. You hear it from Formula One drivers, IndyCar Series drivers. If you have to think about making a move, you're too late. That's why I was curious about when it comes to a spotter. By the time it comes out of his mouth, isn't that gap or that move already gone?
Yeah, I think no, but you're right in the sense that you don't think about things step by step. You're operating on a subconscious level just because the speeds are as high as they are. And then you're kind of thinking about the bigger picture, like what's the tire life going to be like? How's the balance changing throughout the run? Like, are we fuel saving now and not competing against the guys that aren't fuel saving, or vice versa? And what cars are you racing that are on the lead lap or not? So I think you're kind of thinking about all of that sort of thing, not I have to turn in here, or I have to make sure that, I do X, Y, and Z. So the spotter, again, is kind of like a reassurance and kind of a voice on your shoulder, but you don't live and die by kind of what the spotter's saying.
Let me jump in here for a minute, Crash. In rallying, drivers and co-drivers have a language they speak all their own to each other. Do you have that same kind of language between you and the spotter? Is he telling you things that wouldn't make sense to anybody else who heard it?
That's a really good question. No, it's pretty much inside, outside, clear, 5 back, which is like just car lengths. And then they count you down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or like you're pulling away. And that's really probably about it.
Is that normal for all tracks, or just because of the speed at Texas won't let him get too much out of his mouth?
So honestly, the reason spotters came to be was back in kind of the IRL classic days when you had these races every week where cars were side by side by side by side, right? And so if you're on the outside of a car and you're slightly in front of them, you can't really see where they are. And so the last thing you want to do at these speeds is kind of inadvertently turn down or take their lane away. Oval racing in IndyCar has evolved a lot to where it's a lot of single file stuff. So spotters are kind of something that's been kept on as they're helpful, but they aren't a necessity. Like they used to be a necessity, and that's not really the case anymore, if that helps.
Well, yeah, but on road courses, without question.
Not a necessity.
Or no.
Yeah. So like most teams don't even use spotters on road courses. Like we do, because it's like, again, it's kind of like a track walk. You do it because like everyone else is doing it, but like you don't really learn anything or gain anything from it. I kind of feel the same way about spotters. Like you don't want to leave any stone unturned, because like, God forbid, the one time that in turn one you get, hit from the back, and it's like, well, I told you if you had a spotter that wouldn't have happened. So that's the reason you kind of do it, but like it's not a be all or end all. It's not like Cup. And I think the reason why is because, again, we don't have the racing that Cup has in terms of the ovals and the side-by-side stuff, the super speedway stuff. And then also, like, we don't want to be that close to another car because, like, you can't have contact. So when you take all of those things into consideration, it's like it's still a pretty different style of racing to other series, but also what we had, 1 or 2 decades ago.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
But what you're explaining right there, you guys in IndyCar seem to be the best of both worlds. You do have some good side-by-side racing at times, and you've got your follow the leader like Formula One. It's almost like Formula One's trying to copy you guys right now with their parody. But why is it still not translated to the American public, do you think?
Well, that's a much bigger question and answer than we have time for today. But I think, ultimately we're still IndyCar has an upward trajectory, and it has had really since I came to the series in 2016. You're welcome. No, I'm kidding. But like it just so happened that like
2016 Indy 500 winner,
2016 all the way through today, like everything's been growing in a kind of an exponential rate, but it's still recovering from something that was really, really bad. And so like it's a long road. It's not an overnight fix. And there's a lot of focus now that we have. I mean, hell, we have a docuseries coming out. We're on network TV for the majority of the races. The social media team that IndyCar has implemented really beginning in St. Pete this year, they told us yesterday that the numbers that they had in terms of engagement from St. Pete was higher than they had for the Indy 500 last year. So everything that they're doing is directionally correct. We just need like more of it and more people, and just it's all about money. It's a spend, it's a resource thing. But IndyCar does have the best product of all racing, and they are doing a really good job of growing it. It just, like anything in racing, we'd all like to see it go faster.
Well, no, you're right. Money equals something that makes things more tangible for others.
Yeah.
All right. You brought up the docuseries, which we're all excited about, but you also said something in a tweet many, many moons ago about IndyCar. If they ever did a movie, who would you want to see playing in it? You said Jennifer Lawrence. Would she play Kate on your team? What did she play?
I mean, I don't know. Hopefully I can hang out with her. My fiance, I don't know. Yeah, that'd probably be better, right? No, I just love Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, she's pretty much badass.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Who would play you?
I don't know. Like that's a hard one. I don't feel like someone can answer that themselves. Like it has to be assigned to you, right?
Yeah.
I get told I look like that guy that played Lucifer.
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah,
there you go.
Which actually, I kind of like. I'm not mad about it.
No, he's pretty much a badass dude. His name's escaping me.
Yeah.
My daughter had her first game for a tournament this weekend. She's never played in a tournament, but one of the conversations that came out of this was there's a dude on. There are 30 freaking soccer fields. This is one of the largest complexes I've ever seen in my life. There's a guy behind me wearing an Arrow hat, almost identical to what you have. Of course. I say, hey, how you doing? Kenny Sargent with SpeedFreaks. He goes, who the hell are you? I said, I see the hat that you're wearing. And I know the relevance of that hat that you're wearing. And I told him why I'm asking. And getting back to your conversation about the popularity of IndyCar, I'm in the middle of freaking Mesa, Arizona. He says, we'll talk about where Rossi, O'Ward, and Rosenquist qualify when you come back for the 620 game. This is a dude out of nowhere with an Arrow hat. So congratulations. You're reaching the middle of Mesa, Arizona with a 9-year-old soccer tournament.
I mean, that's awesome. Like, I love hearing stories about that. And yes, like anything in our world, right? We're always about being better and finding opportunities to excel and beat competition, right? But like, I think when you still look at the NTT IndyCar series, like it's still pretty awesome, right? And it still does reach a lot of people in a lot of different areas. And it's always cool when you are in these random small towns and you see something. Like I got a lot of that from my past life with like Napa Auto Parts, right? So they had these small towns that they would have auto care centers or whatever. And then there would be people that just knew of me and like Chase because of that. So I think that that's part of like the brand recognition. Having Arrow hats in Mesa, Arizona is awesome. And, we did an event at Kroger last night for Mission Foods. So like having name brands and that association with IndyCar is also very important. So I think that McLaren does a great job at that. And it's very good to hear. And you will have to tell us how the conversation goes. Hopefully he's happy with 1, 3, and 5. Can't do much better than that.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the story ended there. We got to let Alex go. But because I thought you were going to bring up, it's a Formula One hat. So thank goodness that's not where it
thank
went.
God. Otherwise, you'd have to take it away.
Exactly.
What if I did that? If I said, hey, are you Rossi or or Rosenquist? He'd say, who? No, he didn't say that. He said, let's talk about where they qualify when we get to the game at 6:20. Hey, Rossi, it's always fantastic when you're rolling here, man. It's a Rossi that you don't see enough, buddy, when you're rolling the Freak Nation.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate you.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.